Okay, this is the first test drive report. I've just got back, and first thing to notice, no error codes. About 20 miles, car drove, pretty much normally, and I've been alternating between the two devices here because I still haven't anywhere near finished the software, the combined LTO, OBD and the IMA CNC correctly yet. So this is the LTO CAN bus enabled OBD to CNC, and this is the standard OBD to CNC with the IMA CNC control. So at the moment you can see this is reporting a pack voltage of 168, 167 volts, fake temperature and fake state of charge. So let's plug in the LTO now and see what the voltages are. So assist and regen worked very normally, or appeared to. Obviously there's loads of work to do yet on getting it all sorted out, so let's have a look at the voltages now of the pack. So this one's also reporting I can't remember, 168 volts. Ignore the amps, something's not right there. So it's reporting a battery voltage now of 115.2, so it's dropped down about 5 volts from where it was when I started off. It was around 120 volts, and you can see the lowest cell and the highest cell there, and it's telling us 2.484 and 2.458, so there's about 40 millivolts or something difference between the highest and lowest cell in the pack. There's obviously some glitches in the LTO CAN bus OBD to CNC side, as you can see there, because it's reporting weird currents, or not reliable currents, isn't it? So anyway, using this one, which is obviously works okay, I was seeing over 100 amps for assist with the plus 40% hack at 110 volts or so. So that's like 11 or 12 kilowatts. So that's not bad. That's just a slight improvement on the standard, but it's certainly at least up to standard specification, 10 kilowatt plus a little bit extra. And regen, it was very easy to get 75 amps regen, so that was interesting. So basically, there is still some more research and work to do, but the gist of it is that we are getting somewhere, and the car will accept the faked higher voltages. We've done faked lower voltages before, but now we're doing faked higher voltages, and it will accept those and run with this. The DC to DC converter seems happy, the packs seem happy, so that's where we are at the moment. So the first test has been successful, and more testing to come. I want to check the voltage taps actually. Now I did make those with 0.1% resistors, but I do want to see if they actually stay close together, and I might want to put a capacitor across the output from the DC to DC converter on the HV board, just to store a little capacity for when it's sampling the high voltage taps. So yeah, there's lots of little tweaks. I might change the resistors in the op-amp voltage amplifier circuit I put in the MCM. I'm using 100k resistors at the moment. I might drop it all down by a factor of 10 to give a little more current, and that might make it a little bit more resilient to or resistant to noise interference. Not that there might be any, but it's all interesting stuff to try, just to see what improvements that gives. But the I suppose the crux of it is the battery voltage, the 120, 115 volts that we've actually got in the LTO pack, certainly seems sufficient to push at least 100 amps through the IMA motor. So that's giving us 11 or 12 kilowatts, and regen of course was very easy, because obviously the battery voltage is lower than standard, so it makes regen very easy and quite aggressive. Can't see because the static voltage is very high, 167 volts, or quite high. The it was very aggressive. Let's just go back to the other OBD to CNC. The assist and was very aggressive in the lower gears, which was interesting. and there were some variations of when I was trying to command it with the manual IMA CNC. So you can see the voltage there, the resting voltage is 168 volts, that's quite high, and the car was very aggressive in the lower gears, giving 100 amps, just accelerating using the throttle, wide open throttle, etc. So yeah, very aggressive, interesting. So maybe we should adjust the voltage boosting circuit down by 10 volts to give us 158 volts, just to see how that fares, because if we do that, the car will also allow more current, so we might get a little bit more power out of it. So I might just tweak all the voltages down by 10 volts and we'll see where that takes us. But the gist of it is, at the moment, there are no major dramas and it seems to be working fine. You can see